Hey everybody, welcome to Everything's Plastic. Up for review today is a McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Talon Court of Owls. We'll get a closer look at the packaging. If you see one of these McFarlane packages, then you've seen them all. Nothing really changes with these. Pretty awesome artwork on the back here, and that looks pretty cool. We'll be right back, this one out of packaging, so we can take a closer look. So for accessories, this guy comes with base that we're so used to seeing with these McFarlanes. Comes with a pretty awesome trading card as well. The last year or so, they've been just taking pictures of their figures and adding the background in behind. I love actually seeing the artwork on these. This one looks fantastic. On the back here, there is a big read up. I've been up for almost 30 hours straight, so I'm not about to read this one. So if you guys want to take a quick look at this and give it a quick read, you guys can pause now. For accessories, he comes with this sheath, double sheath for his swords. He comes with two badass swords as well. I think they look pretty cool, man. Pretty cool design on these. You can see a little bit of detail in the handles. Love it. And he comes with two knives as well. Like pretty cool detail in the handles, and they actually painted the blades, which is fantastic. A lot of figures have been getting lately. None of this stuff is painted. Just a piece of gray plastic. Maybe they paint the handles, maybe they don't. And I think this guy looks fantastic. I know it's an all black suit, but every little detail in this one pops out. Any bit of silver paint pops out as well. You see his claws, his belt, even a strap going around holding his throwing knives. Pretty decent paint application on that as well. And we can see a cool look at his head sculpt too. All these little details are painted pretty decent. So before I pop the sheath on, pop the swords on, everything else, let's take a few minutes to go over articulation. His head goes back this far, down this far. You do have some side to side. You do get a full rotation. His shoulders go up this far. You do have a butterfly joint. This one's a little bit stiff, but we do get a little bit of movement there. There is a bicep swivel as well. We do have double jointed pin elbows. For some reason, I think I said it before in one of my reviews, I don't mind pin joints on McFarlane's. I don't know what it is. When I see pin joints on Marvel Legends, man, it drives me nuts. I hate it. That being said, I can get a McFarlane, and all these McFarlanes pretty much add pin joints, and I don't mind it one bit. Don't know what it is, man. Can't explain it. For his wrist got these ratchet joints, which is fantastic. You can get any kind of range of motion out of these. Any way you want to bend it. There is a ball joint, which goes back this far, forward this far. You get some side to side, and there's full rotation as well. There's actually a ball joint down here as well that you get some side to side, goes back and forth, and there's a full rotation down here. His hips are somewhat restricted. You don't quite get a full split out of this one. It does go forward this far, back this far, so his legs are pretty restricted. There is no upper thigh cut or anything like that. There is double jointed pin knees. Awesome range of motion out of that. And for his ankles, like I previously mentioned, same type of joints that we have on the wrist. So that goes back this far, forward this far. You get your full rotation. And there is a toe hinge as well. Awesome range of motion in the upper body. Lower body, not so much. You can still probably get this one in some pretty decent poses, but I don't like the restricted articulation in the bottom part of his legs, especially since the articulation in his upper body was fantastic. Alright, so this little sheet goes into the back here. There's a little hole and a little peg, and it just ports right in. And it has these little slits on the side here too, so these actually open all the way up. I guess McFarlane designed it that way because of the shape of the swords. If he didn't, then it would be pretty difficult to actually get these in. So once they're in, you can't really pick up on it that much. You do see a little bit of a gap there, but I think it still looks pretty cool overall. Now let's get this bad boy in. I'll take the sheath off. It's probably 10 times easier to do it that way. Play around with these a little bit just to adjust them in, and overall looks pretty good. There is a little gap there, but once it's on the figure, you can't really pick up on it that much unless you're looking for it. One complaint with this one though, it doesn't really port into his back that well. I think the peg should have been a bit bigger. The hole's too big for the little tiny peg, and the shape of his back, it's contoured in and it doesn't really fit in the hole that well. Definitely a bit loose. But if you actually start posing this one with his sheath on, it's definitely going to pop out. But overall, just give you guys a quick view of it. While it's still on, just put his knives in his hand. They fit in nice and snug as well. Pop in pretty easy. Just give you guys a quick view of how he looks with his knives in his hands, swords on his back. So it's a rough idea of how he looks with his swords in his hand. I'll leave the creativity to you guys to come up with some awesome poses. You guys get the point, you guys get the idea. Looks pretty cool. Alright, for a few quick comparisons, here we have him next to Ghostmaker, which is to this day still one of my favorite McFarlanes of all time. We have the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Over here we have a G.I. Joe Classified Outback, and over on the side here we have a NEFFEX Predator figure. So just want to give you guys a quick comparison to how he matches up a few different toy lines overall. So Talon is definitely a tiny bit taller than Dark Knight Returns and pretty much on par with Ghostmaker. So overall, he's pretty standard size for a 7-inch McFarlane. Alright, that pretty much wraps up our unboxing and figure review. So overall, I'm going to give this one a 8.5 out of 10. Definitely would have scored him a little bit higher. I absolutely love this figure, but his sheath on the back, it fell off maybe 10-15 times just trying to get through this review. It's a poor design. Peg itself is not big enough for the hole, and it's actually not long enough as well because of the contour in his back. It just barely sits in there, and that's about it. As soon as you move it, it's definitely going to fall off. So I got to be very careful with this one. Other than that, whatever's painted on this one is painted great. The overall design of the figure, man, it's fantastic. This is one nice looking McFarlane figure. The top part of his body, the articulation is actually pretty awesome. But when you get down bottom here, that's when the figure becomes a little bit restricted. Let me know in the comments below what you think of my score of 8.5 out of 10. Let me know what you think of our review. And if you guys had to rate this one out of 10, what would you give it? As always, if you like our review, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, way up. And that subscribe button is there as well if you guys want to subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day to watch our review. We know your time is precious, so it means the world to us. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Keep collecting. Stay safe.